¿Ninguna pregunta?
Hello, thank you for your presentation. Just two short questions. The first is, I understand that there is no any national bioethics committee now in the States, and you didn't succeed in your recommendation at the end of your commission of promoting a standard body. And the second one is whether these documents that you produce in your commission are available for the public.
Thank you. Excellent question. There is no bioethics. Thank you. Good questions. There is no bioethics commission in the U.S. now. We made about 100 recommendations over our tenure, and about 85% of those were partially or fully implemented. The recommendation to have a bioethics commission was not one of them. In response to the question about are these materials available, absolutely. One of the things we wanted to make sure to do was, since this is a public commission, to have these materials available to the public. In addition to the reports that the commission did, we also made a suite of materials for educational purposes. So along with every report, we have several educational materials that relate to the ethical issues addressed in that report. So some research ethics, some medical ethics, some public policy stuff, some public health ethics. All of that is available if you Google Presidential Bioethics Commission. It'll take you to a site where we have archived all our data, and it is at Georgetown University Bioethics Library. But if you Google President Obama bioethics, you'll get to it. Other questions or thoughts before we, yeah, please.
Thanks for your lecture. Is your deliberative proposal adopted by the ethical review boards, or not just for a matter of policy, but also from the particular bodies that are in charge of this deliberative process in hospitals, social services, and so on? Thanks.
Yeah, so what we've done over since these recommendations were made over the 8 years of our existence, we've kept track of all of the things we recommended and then have tried to stay alert to who has adopted the recommendations. And we have seen that there is a great deal of adoption of the research-related pieces, especially our recommendations about incidental findings. Now, many IRBs or research ethics boards require that if a researcher is doing, let's say they're doing some imaging, looking at a shoulder joint, and they find a brown spot on a person's lung, that's not what they were looking for, but what should they do with it? Now some research ethics boards are saying you must state in your policy or in your protocol what you're going to do with that. Are you going to tell patients? Are you not going to tell patients? Those kinds of things. So we've seen these recommendations adopted by individual research ethics boards, by policymakers, by individual clinicians as well. Other questions, thoughts? All right, with that, I will say once again, muchas gracias, and I hope you have a lovely conference and learn a lot and have an opportunity to talk with each other.